Episode 16, ESL Trailblazer, Burn to Learn. I'm Nandis. Welcome to another episode this week, guys and girls. We are ready to begin right away. My topic is of the essence. 3-part series. We're going all out this time. How to give a presentation. Now, essential, vital skill that all of us need, whether we're native speakers, teachers, students, we gotta be able to give terrific, outstanding, of the highest standard presentations. So I've dedicated the next 3 episodes to helping you do this effectively, concisely, and efficiently. Today we're focusing on the structure. That's what I want to focus on. Now, I realize that there's many different ways of doing this. These are just my personal tips from experience of teaching, as well as what I try to use with my students. All right? I'd love to hear your feedback on this, of course. So please comment, and it's adaptable. But let's get right to it without further ado. So, 2 openings I'm going to give you, just to give you 2 contrasting styles of presentation. All right? And then I'll give you the advantages and disadvantages of each. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Here we go. Presentation number 1. I'm only going to give you the openings, remember, okay? So here we go. Opening number 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me today here to speak with you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nandis, and I'm an English language teacher for ESL language schools. I've been invited here to talk to you about the services that we offer, and I'm going to structure my presentation in the way where at first I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of our school, where we started. Then I will be discussing what kind of services and the location that we are in. And finally, I'm going to finish with the costs and the fees that we offer to our clients. Okay? Now, please hold your questions until the end of the presentation, and I will answer them all then. Let's get started. Okay, so that's opening number 1 for the first kind of presentation. Here's the second type of presentation. Okay, just the opening, remind you. Here we go. I bet you are all sick of not seeing any progress in your English. Maybe you're feeling frustrated with not improving at all. And probably you feel like you want to give up. But wouldn't you prefer to feel confident when you're using English as a second language? Most of you know of the importance of technique and approach and motivation when learning. Well, ESL Trailblazer schools are here to help you. My name is Nandis, and I'd like to talk to you today about what we can do to help you improve your language skills to the next level so that you feel confident when you walk into that office and never again feel frustrated or thinking that you want to give up. Now, let's start by hearing what you actually feel when it comes to language lessons. Who can tell me an example of, or share with me what you think of your language experiences? There we go. So I just gave you 2 very contrasting styles of presentation. All right, let's talk a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages. Typically, the first kind that you hear is very European in style, and the structure is very clear. What's more, the audience knows what you're going to be talking about in advance because you've already told them in the opening. And not only that, you as a speaker, it's a safe way to give a presentation. So for non-native speakers, this is the way to go because you have everything in a structure and it's all ready and it's all set up. The problem with that, though, is it's boring because it's very predictable, right? Your audience knows exactly what you're going to do, when they can ask questions, what you're going to be talking about. Again, there's a clear structure, and you tell everybody what you're going to be covering. So, that's opening number 1. Opening number 2 to the second type of presentation is more American in style, and as you probably guessed, the advantage here is that it's a bit lively. And another thing is that it engages the audience because of the liveliness. However, the reality is that you need to have an extroverted personality to be able to deliver that kind of presentation. So not only that, but when you're improvising in that way with that kind of personality, there's a chance you might miss some important information. Whereas in the first kind of opening, the first style, you're going to maybe even give information that's not relevant or not necessary. While in the second one, you might miss something important. However, the audience in the second one is going to be a lot more engaged, as you saw with my rhetorical questions in the opening and the question at the end of my opening where I wanted the audience to tell me their experiences. Okay, so very different. What's the key? Look for a balance, I would say. Okay, something in the middle where you have a bit of structure, because as a non-native, which is most of you watching these videos, you, of course, are going to be feeling very nervous and self-conscious when you're giving your presentation. Your mind is running 1,000 miles a minute trying to think of what words to use, trying to worry about not making a mistake or feeling stupid or making an error in pronunciation. I understand. I feel your pain. I used to be there when I moved to America. I felt the same way. Armpit sweating, rubbing on the forehead. I got you. Somewhere in the middle. Look for that balance, okay? Very important. So a bit of structure, so you feel safe and confident, but a little bit of liveliness, personality. You need that in there. So with that said, I got some advice for you. Bomber B. I repeat, Bomber B. That's the acronym for the way you can structure your presentations. And I'll tell you what each one stands for, okay? I repeat, Bomber B. So the first one is B. B for bang, bang, bang. You start your presentation with a bang. What does that mean? You need a visual aid, or a story, or a surprising fact, or a reference to the here and now with the audience, all right? That bang gets the audience pulled in immediately. That's what you need to start. That's the B. Then we got the O, opening. In your opening, you should talk about briefly who you are and thanking them for inviting you there and telling the audience something about yourself, again, very briefly, and what you're going to be talking about in your presentation. Here is where your structure is, in the opening, okay? Then we move on to the third part of Bomber B, MEM, M for message. Here are the main points of your presentation. Try to keep them concise. 3 main points max, because you want your audience to remember the message. If you give too much information, forget it, bye-bye, blah, 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 too much, they're going to forget, they're not going to remember. Keep it short. Main points right here. Here's the message. After message, you got another B for bridge. Bridge. The bridge is how the message connects to the needs of your audience. Why do they want to hear this message? Why are you there? Tell them the connection. Connect the ideas. Okay? Then after the bridge, we got examples. I think it's clear. But let me just add, make the examples practical and easy to understand so that everybody knows what you're talking about. That might be like an obvious tip, but it's not to everybody. And I'm just giving you that reminder. Practical, easy to understand examples for your message. After E, we got 2 more. We got R, Bomber. R for recap. Recap means to summarize everything you just said, the main points, and you finish with your bang, which is coming back to your original bang for closure. Full circle. There we are. That's it. So remember, Bomber, Bomber, B. Okay? So that's all I got today, guys, for the presentation of styles. I've also tried to use a little bit of language in the presentation, which I will put in the description box, on how to add extra points or how to add a contrasting idea. You probably didn't pick it up, but if you're doing this in a language lesson, your teacher will point them out to you. Okay? I have them in the description box. I look forward to part 2 next week, which I'm going to be talking specifically about the language you can use in your presentation. And here's a hint. Linking words. Very important. That's it. I'm all done. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe, share if you find it useful. Remember, burn to learn. Let's make something happen. Build momentum. I'm Nandis. I'll see you in a week and look forward to hearing your comments. Later, guys. See ya.